ESG, I know. You've heard the buzzword everywhere, but what does it really mean for a biotech company that's trying to change the world? Well, today we're going to cut right through the jargon. We're going to show you how ESG due diligence isn't some boring compliance task. It's actually a powerful strategic tool for building a company that's built to last. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get clear on what ESG due diligence actually is. Then we'll dig into why it's so incredibly important for biotech specifically. After that, we get practical with a strategic how-to, we'll weigh the risks versus the massive opportunities, and finally, we'll talk about what it truly means to be a future-proof company in this space.
Okay, let's dive right in. Part 1. What in the world are we even talking about when we say ESG due diligence? It is absolutely time to get past the buzzword. And let's start with the question that I know is on your mind, because it's on a lot of people's minds. Is ESG just another piece of corporate jargon? Another acronym that sounds important but doesn't mean much. It's so easy to get cynical, but I promise you, we're going to slice through all that noise and get to what really matters.
So, let's just break it down. ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Now, for a biotech company, environmental isn't about saving the rainforests, not directly anyway. It's about smart, sustainable lab practices, right? Managing your waste correctly. Social isn't just some generic feel-good idea. No, it's about making sure your clinical trials have real diversity. It's about how you ethically handle patient data. And governance? That's all about having a rock-solid board that ensures scientific integrity and total transparency. It's the whole framework for measuring your company's real-world impact.
Now for the second half of that phrase, due diligence. Look, this is a concept everybody in business gets. It's that deep dive health check you do before a huge investment or a merger or a critical partnership. It's basically looking under the hood of a car before you buy it to make sure everything's running the way it should. And this, right here, is where it all clicks together. Think about it. Financial due diligence asks a simple question. Is this company financially viable? You look at the balance sheets, the revenue, the profit margins. ESG due diligence just asks a bigger, deeper question. Is this company sustainably viable? It looks at those long-term risks, the ethical questions, the overall resilience of the business. You see? It's not some weird new thing. It's just extending that same rigorous, familiar process to areas that are now absolutely critical for survival.
Okay, so that's the what. Now let's get to the why, because this isn't some academic discussion. There are real, powerful forces completely reshaping the life sciences world, and ESG is sitting right at the heart of that shift.
If you need proof, just follow the money. I mean, look at this chart. In 2020, about $200 billion in life sciences investment had ESG strings attached. Fast forward to 2026, just a couple years away, and that number is projected to explode to $850 billion. That's not a trend. That's a tidal wave. Capital is literally searching for and flowing to companies that can prove they take this stuff seriously.
And you know what? It's not just the investors. The pressure is coming from every single direction. You've got regulators who are making the rules tougher. You have big pharma partners who are now vetting every single link in their supply chains. You've got the top scientific minds, the people you want to hire, demanding to work for ethical employers. And of course, you have patients in the public who just expect more from companies today. So here's the bottom line. This is no longer optional. This is the new cost of entry.
Okay, so that brings us to the really practical part of all this. How do you actually do it? It can seem overwhelming, I get it, but we're going to break it down into a simple 4-step framework that any company, big or small, can use as a guide. All right, step 1, identify what actually matters for you. What are the specific ESG risks relevant to your labs, your trials? Is it water usage? Is it patient data privacy? You got to know what to focus on. Let's move to step 2 and see how this builds. You have to gather and verify the data. I mean, you can't manage what you don't measure, right? So collect those hard numbers on energy use, employee diversity, whatever it is. Then step 3, you analyze and score it. You benchmark your company against the rest of the industry to see where you really stand. And finally, step 4, and this is so crucial, you integrate and report. These findings can't just live in a report on a shelf. They have to be plugged directly into your business strategy and then communicated transparently to everyone. Now, looking at that 4-step plan, it might feel like a lot, and it is a lot of work. So let's be really clear about the business case here. Let's look at the two sides of the ESG coin, the huge risks if you do nothing and the incredible opportunities if you get it right.
And this table just lays it out so clearly. On one side, the risks of doing nothing are scary. We're talking loss of funding, massive fines or damaged reputation, and seeing your best people leave.
But look at the other side. The opportunities are just transformative. You get access to that giant pool of capital we talked about, you build a brand that becomes a magnet for top talent, and you create a more efficient, more resilient, truly future-proof business. And this brilliantly illustrates the choice companies face. This isn't just about spending money, it's an investment in your own future.
And that right there brings us to our final and maybe most important point. Embracing ESG is about more than just dodging risks. It's about fundamentally rethinking what a successful company even looks like. It's about shifting our focus from just the next quarter's profits to building real, long-term sustainable value.
I think this quote from a major biopharma CEO just says it all. Groundbreaking science is not enough. Let that sink in. To really lead today, that incredible science has to be built on a foundation of ethics and sustainability. He calls ESG a license to innovate for humanity. Wow, that's a really powerful way to think about it, isn't it?
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about for your own organization. Are you building value for the next quarter, or are you building value for the next generation? Because in the world we live in today, those two things are no longer different. In fact, they are one and the same. Thanks for tuning in.